Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to ADRP Live on a Monday. Big weekend all around the country. We have a special guest over my left shoulder, which we'll get to in just a second. I first want to say a big thank you to Jason Stairs and Stairs Family Racing for their invitation to attend Mildura and crew for them on the weekend at the Andra Summit Round. It was a great weekend. Mildura put on a wonderful show, as they always do, and there was some great racing, and congratulations to Jace. The new crew member, mate, you won, so awesome. I was very proud to be a part of that team. Without any further ado, we will jump to the 9 times Australian Andra Top Door Slammer National Champion, the inaugural 400 Thunder Pro Slammer Champion, the national record holding at 5.693 in Andra and 5.683 in 400 Thunder. I don't think there's anything else I can possibly say about the man over my left shoulder other than one of the absolute legends of this sport and probably the most gifted natural driver the sport's ever seen, Mr. John Zappia. Good afternoon, John.
Hi, Brett. How you going?
Well, thank you. It should be good morning for you. Sorry, I apologise. Mate, we're going to talk about a lot with you today, I hope, but we'd like to start, obviously, with how you went on the weekend, your first race back at Perth under the new leadership of Venues West and back under Andra sanctioning. You ran the local round. How did that all pan out for you?
Yeah, not too bad. I think they probably had 130 entries, maybe a little bit light on, but not too bad. And the weather was good. We got down there, we put an engine back together that we destroyed at the Winters. So we were keen to give that a shot at a non-championship event and make sure everything was okay with that. And we had Bravo Resources, Clyde done all the welding on the block, and then Southside Engine Centre machined all the block and replaced a few sleeves and honed it all up. And we got it back together, finished it off Saturday morning, went to the drags, and we qualified well with a 586, pedalled at 251.6, so we're pretty happy with that. And then we come out the next round, and the air was really good, got better and better, and the track sort of didn't quite get there to hold the power that what we were trying to throw at it, and ended up moving around, used up a fair bit of the lane on the second one, pedalled again, and went 594. So that was a win, but it got me into the B final, not the A final, because I had to back off a bit too long, keep it off the centre line. But it went 252 at the end, so really strong back half. Power-wise, just looking good. And then we come out in the B final and just overpowered it and crossed the centre line, knocked the cone over. So that was the day done. But, we got some good data. We found a few things that need adjusting, and we're basically now going to service the car and get ready to head off to Las Vegas on Thursday.
Excellent. So obviously the engine's developing as good a power as it ever has, despite the hurt that you gave it in Queensland. 252, yep. 253. If the track wasn't quite there, but the mile an hour's there, so you're happy that you've got a setup ready to go when you get back from Vegas.
Yeah, that's right. Well, in Queensland, what we ended up hurting 3 engines there was basically the fuel system was off. The fuel pump had gone away, and we had an internal leak that was robbing the motor of like 3/4 of a gallon of fuel. Wasn't going into the engine. We also had some sensors that stopped giving us the right information, so it was a bit hard to pinpoint what was actually wrong. In the meantime, you're thrashing, trying to put motors and stuff back together, so you're having less time to look at the data. So once we got back and we flowed the fuel system at Greg Gower's place on his flow bench, and then checked that out with the Alki Pro fuel system program, and then we straight away we realised that we weren't getting the fuel that we're supposed to get. So since then we've just put a brand new Aeroflow fuel pump on the car this weekend as well. Sorry, Aero Motive. Yeah, can we cut that bit?
our friend Mr. Vic Wood will be happy to hear that it's an Aeromotive pump.
Yeah, Aeromotive pump. They've come on board, and we've flowed that pump. It's flowed really well on Greg's flow bench. So we put that on the car on the weekend, adjusted the Alki Pro program to suit that. It told us what main jet we needed to run. We put that in. We also hooked up, Greg come over and hooked up the new weather station that ties in with the Alki Pro program, and it pages you every 3 minutes on your mobile app. And tells you the weather and the main jet to put in while you're in the staging lanes. The weather station stays on the truck or wherever you set it up, and it stays plugged into the laptop that's got the Alki Pro program, and then it sends it out to you. And it was just awesome, just it was right on the money, and straight away the car's doing big mile an hour without having full throttle runs. So, and the motor stayed together. Everything seemed to be happy. So we're just going to check all that out, make sure that the motor's A1 for the next outing, and hopefully they'll have the track. Normally first race after winter, the track's not fantastic. So it takes a bit of rubber and it takes a bit of good weather to sort of get all the moisture out of it and get it up to scratch. So we're hoping that on November the 19th at the WA Championships in Perth, we're having a heads-up top door slammer bracket, and that'll be a round of our local championship. So I think we're having 3 of those throughout the Perth season this year. 3 heads-up door slammer meets, as well as the 2 top door slammer Andrew rounds as well. So there's like 5 heads-up door slammer sort of series, and then that'll be backed up by the top comp or pro comp, and pro comps when we run basically heads-up door slammers against heads-up alcohol cars. And there's only a handicap if it's door slammer to funny car or door slammer to dragster, but if you're in the same category, then it's heads up or pro tree. So I think there's 1 or 2 of those meetings that we're doing as well throughout the season. So my aim this year is to support the local season and hopefully start building the sport back up to where it needs to be or where it should have been. And
Awesome. All right. Well, you gave us a lot of information there. I'm trying to remember going back to what questions I was going to ask you. And one was obviously, I remember speaking to you in the braking area at Willowbank at the Winters, and you were frustrated, you were concerned. You said, I think you said to me, we got to be able to fix this one because we've got no more bullets left. So the Alki Pro and the texting of up-to-date weather is going to assist you in obviously keeping that thing all in one shiny pile, rather than, I think there was about 5 litres of Fuchs oil down the side of it when I was speaking to you last. So that's pretty cool that you've got on top of that. You mentioned that you're heading off to Vegas on Thursday. You've got some international commitments at the SEMA show with your overseas sponsors.
Yes.
And I think obviously therefore you're going to miss the opening round at Sydney for the East Coast Thunder, the first round of the 400 Thunder Pro Series. But you're leading the points in the Andrew Door Slammer series at the moment after the Northern Swing. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we've got 7 Andrew rounds in this season, so. My goal is to concentrate on the Andrew Series and try and get my 10th championship. That's a pretty big milestone. As well as I mentioned, trying to do as many of the Perth rounds as I can. So
just to add another local championship to the list of championships you already have.
Yeah, I mean that's not high on my priority, but we just basically want to support the local meeting and get the fans and the crowds back and get Perth drag racing back where it should be. But at the same time, I'm going there to catch up with Hoosier Tyres in America, Aeromotive, Speedmaster will be at the SEMA show as well. We've got, I forgot the other one.
It sounds like you're going to be pretty busy in Vegas between three sponsors, and no doubt you'll want to get out to the Strip and support the Aussie races over there this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. And that's right there. There's a lot of Aussies racing over there, the Tuckers and a few others, but and Rapsadas and that. So, it'll be interesting time over there, and just something we've been putting off. It's been about 3 years ago since I went, and unfortunately the SEMA shows nearly always clashed with the Sydney Nationals. But this year it just went well. Unfortunately, with some of the dates that they've put in, and we've gone across there for a meeting at the Nitro Champs, and at the last minute it got turned into a one-day event. That cost us all a small fortune. Take people out of work and fly them over there and book accommodation and all that, and then it turned into a one-day event, which it was a successful one-day event, but it was it cost us all money, wasted time and effort sort of thing for having people there for so long for a one-day event.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me being in Perth, it's a long way to go. So now there's apparently, a round at Willow Bank on the 7th of January. That's the dearest time of the year to travel, airfares and accommodation.
Of course.
It's also really hot or it's really wet.
Okay.
That meeting cancelled many years ago. They ended up flooding out. Luckily, we didn't take off for that event. We were told before we left not to go.
Yeah.
So, it's a risky time of the year, and it costs a lot of money to go from Perth to do that. We're looking at basically it's 10 grand an event to turn up before you start the race car.
Okay.
To go all that way for a one-day event doesn't sit real well with me. Then we've got an event 1 week before the Australian Nationals at Sydney. Again, another one-day event. Very difficult to try and do that with volunteer crew and be able to do a week apart events across the country, So the Australian Nationals was really good last year, even though the weather was bad, but the joint was packed. We sold a lot of merchandise. We won the event, so I suppose that was a good thing too. So we're keen on doing that event again, and then we've got 6 days to get back to Perth to qualify on the Friday for the Golden Stakes, which is an Andrew Championship round as well. So look, I'll where and when I can, I'll do 400 Thunder events, but it's the way I see it now. It's not an Australian Championship. It's a local. Sydney versus Brisbane type series. Yep. 2-track series. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
Well, I hope they do a good job of it. And I hope they deliver some of the things that they promised in the past, but that's yet to be seen. And then I'll look at doing the Nitro Champs in the winters. The winters is definitely on my list. The Nitro Champs might be as well. Okay. Basically, by then we've finished the Andrew Championship Grand Final. Yep. And I can also make it back for Perth for the Perth Grand Final in April.
Of your local championship that you're supporting the track with, yeah.
Yeah, so then depending on what happens with America, I have had some small offer to drive a car in the US. It hasn't eventuated or anything yet, but it may. It's not going to be like a full-time gig. It might be a part-time deal when and where we can do it. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out in the future.
Can we dig into that a little, John? Has it got doors and suspension, or has it got a plastic body that folds down?
It would be doors and suspension, yes. It'd be Pro Mod or Pro Boost at PDRA, but
Wow.
Nothing's eventuated, so it's just a discussion point at the moment.
Perhaps you could put 125 over in that hot rod behind you and take it with you.
Yeah, too heavy, unfortunately, for PDRA. They weigh 2275 pounds, and we're 2700 pounds, and I've basically got no weight in it. So
you got to give him a chance, though, John.
Nah, not with. I've seen Jason Struggs run 349 at 220 this morning at in the semis, and I'm not sure who won the final between him and Brandon Snyder.
He's certainly got that car dialed in, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know it's only relatively early over there. Congratulations on the weekend. Getting another decent number out of a brand new combo by the sound of it. We'll look forward to the events on November 19 and then hopefully see you in Adelaide December 3 and 4. So
yeah, we'll definitely be there. We've got presentation night on the Thursday before the event, and then 2-day event at Adelaide should be good. They've got all the new timing system up now.
Yep.
The scoreboards and stuff, so we just hope it just keeps on improving, and we should get a good crowd there.
Awesome. All right. Well, you have a very safe and fun trip over there. Say hello to Vic Wood for us and give him a slap on the back from Australia.
And the other one is Aurora Rod Ends, Aurora Bearings.
Yes.
They'll be at the SEMA show as well.
It came to you. Excellent. All right. Thanks, mate. We really appreciate your time and can't wait to see some more numbers.
And Reed Rockers. We'll be catching up with Daryl Reed and Reed Rockers as well.
Mate, you're going to need roller skates. You got that many appearances to make.
Yeah, that's it. All right then, mate.
Thanks so much for your time, John.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
mate. Bye-bye. Well, that's the words right there from the mouth of the fastest door slammer in the country, John Zappia. Some interesting information about where and when he'll be competing this year. We can't wait to get out there and support John. It will be a big series, I think, over in Perth. I think it's been a great step forward that they're really going to push hard in Perth this year. It's disappointing we're not going to see John in 2 weeks' time or a week and a half's time now up at the East Coast, but I'm sure the East Coast will be a great event. We'll be heading up there, so please make sure you pop in. We'll be assisting the Mags as pit. So if you want to say good day to us, want to say hello to Jason and Rob, pop in and say hello, and we'd love to see you all there at a great event. See you guys in Sydney, but I'll talk to you Friday about some more information. Ciao, guys.